This morning, I'm thrilled to announce that we have reached a breakthrough trade deal with the United Kingdom. Incredible country. Today is a victory day for World War II. We won the war together exactly 80 years ago, so there could be no more perfect morning to reach this historic agreement. And it's beautiful weather out. I will tell you that, Keir. Beautiful weather. It's so perfect outside. But it's really, in particular, the agreement with one of our closest and most cherished allies. And we're so happy that that's the way it worked out. I want to thank Prime Minister Starmer and his very talented team for their outstanding work and partnership. Today's agreement with the UK is the first in a series of agreements on trade that my administration has been negotiating over the past 4 weeks. With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade. The overall deal just worked out very well from their standpoint. They were willing to give that in order to get other things. And you might want to speak to that, Mr. Ambassador.
Look, the point about the deal is that we will continue reducing tariffs and non-tariff barriers. This is a continuing picture. It's a movie. It's not a still picture here. It's a movie. Yeah. It continues. And we're both committed to freeing up trade between our countries. We're both committed to freeing up investment between our countries. And the point about this deal is that it provides a very good template and a very good launch pad for what we can continue to do and build on in the future.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself, or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAM.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I meet the trade minister of Indonesia, and he says, we're the largest car manufacturer in the world. And you'd say, really? Indonesia? He says, yes, we make Matchbox cars. Right? So, that's fine. So what do we want? We want a low tariff on those kind of products, right? And a higher tariff on products that make a difference to us, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, things that matter that we want to reshore. We want to do that smart. I think you saw a lot of smart in today's deal. And I think what you're going to see is Donald Trump is going to deliver incredibly smart, thoughtful, and rigorous trade deals that are going to be great for America. Remember, if we have a $1.2 trillion trade deficit, and we cut that 25%, only 25%, that means we export another $300 billion. That's 1 point of GDP produced by the guy who sits behind me in that White House. 1 point of GDP just by him. And then if you start building those factories that he's talked about, that's another 2 points of GDP. That's 3 points a year driven by the guy in the Oval Office. It's pretty cool.
Okay, well, Brian, you broke it before I did. Congratulations are in order for all of us. I had a phone call while Brian was giving his dissertation. It was the guy above me, not the Lord, but one of the main guys in this event. Okay? Here's what he had to say. The tests, redemptions are over. Notifications are going out to groups now for appointments with groups on Monday. If there are 800 numbers, they are going to come out sometime next week or the week after for the general public, but the main groups have to go through first. Wait your turn. It has begun. You heard it live right when it happened, right here, exclusively on Chance's chat on Hamilton Radio 1. This came from the intake officer while Brian was talking. Congratulations, you have won. Wait your turn for a call. If I get 800 numbers, they will be put up on chancemcfadden.com. Don't worry about the capital letter name. You're not supposed to have a personal account for this. You're supposed to have a trust account. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You have to wait for the changeover. You can't trust anything in your current existence until the changeover, until the new system is up and running. So, but it's up to you, really. I mean, we keep telling you, if you want to go do this and that and, play ahead of schedule because you're in a hurry, you're gonna miss out.
Oh, yeah. So, and don't think for 1 second that you could, let's say you've got a stack of 100 trillion notes, right, like this, okay? And you're going to redeem them. And you say, well, I got to get to the appointment, so I'm going to take one into the bank here and get cashed out on just one. And guess what? You only get one time at the table. This isn't a buffet. This isn't all you can eat. Okay? You're only going to get one time to do a redemption. That's why you better pay attention to what is in the RV protocol papers, because if you go in and cash in one piece of currency and think you're going to take the rest of your appointment, you're done. Okay? There's only one time at the table. It's not all you can eat buffet. And get it through your head. You're going to have a trust in order to protect your monetary assets. Get it through your head. Oh, I'm not going to get a trust. I'm going to do it. Okay. That's your problem. Listen, we can lead you to the watering trough, but if you decide you don't want to take a drink, then you and your horse just go right on down the road and do whatever you like. Because I was sent here by the highest power to open my mouth, let my opinions and knowledge and share it with you. I had no intentions of doing anything like this 2 years ago.
The full revaluation of the currencies where everybody is going to be on an even playing, all of the currencies are going to be at parity, where all of the, where Nasara and Jassara is in full swing. That won't be until 2027, right? Won't be. We're getting everything starting to be implemented, yes, but the completion of that will not be until 2027, from what information I've been told. But everything is a process, everything. And, the currency exchanges that we're going to be going to very soon, I think President Trump's announcement tomorrow may have, or Monday may have something to do with just that.
That's what we're hoping. That's what we're hoping.
Yep, it's the way it was going to be. The way I saw it was going to be the storm, the RV, or some other announcement. But we have to take a look at the events surrounding all of this. I think that President Trump is going to announce the storm, and I think he's going to announce something to do with the foreign currencies that we all hold, and I would say that we would have the numbers coming out to us not long after. Now, there was a rumor that this was all going to be done by EAS, and that's not. I found out that that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen that way. You'll be either contacted by your bank, by the Treasury, or something like that. All right. So because the records are there, and Treasury would have that. Okay, and that includes Australian Treasury. All right. Now the other thing is, these exchanges with the currency are absolutely not taxable, and the reason being for that is that this falls under international law. Okay, and people make money on foreign exchanges all the time, and they're not taxed on it because it's all international law. The government can't tax you for a rise in a particular currency or a fall in a particular currency. Right. So if you're worried about that, that's okay. When you get your money, though, when you do the exchange, you're going to have it in the QFS account. If you put it in your bank account and you you put it all in your bank account, of course, you're going to get taxed because of the fact that you're going to have interest payments. So keep it in your QFS account, and you use your QFS account as a working account to filter your money down into your account so that you can go out and spend the money you need to go and buy things. So that's important to know, all right?
Yes, these ideas may take time, but in the end, this is what the archangels were hoping to see through and through for a very long time, in how the masses would rise to the occasion, not grab their stupid picket signs and tote them, this is unfair, because just doing that alone, there's no action in it. There's no action of creating recourse or getting things to move in a different fashion. You're just whining. You're whining with your sign. And what does that do? You're not putting effort in changing the terms and conditions of what they did. But it takes knowledge and growth for these humans to do that. So now this is why the archangels said the game is over. There's hardly any humans left. What does that mean? It means that there is source in what people are representing as the ego, but because their bodies are just, I would say declining because of impurities, because of the food, the environment, there is a exodus that is happening and taking place, and it will continue to take place over and over and over until the grand solar flash. So then you're like, well, then what's the point of all these currencies? Or what's the point in me wanting to play money or build this and that? No, you're going to do that. I'm just saying the game's over, and many of you have already picked your contracts. You're going to honor your contracts. You're going to get what you want to a degree, dependent on your attention and focus. It's just not here. It's not here. Not on this earth dimensional plane. You will get to do it on another earth dimensional plane that is similar to Gaia, or it might be Gaia, just not in this timeline. This version is going straight to 5, the 5th density. Only less than 1% will be assisting or creating on that 5th dimensional plane. It's very, very small. And it's going to be the star seeds, and maybe an even less percentage of the humans that have achieved a high calibration of consciousness to move on up. A lot of the people's sources, the ETs are pulling them out. You may be pulled out at some point if you do not meet the requirements, and you're going to go to another Earth density. They're going to do it with great care when you are escorted to another Earth-like timeline. I won't be there. I do not intend to be there. I don't intend to be human anymore with human gains in human monetary system. It's garbage. And plus, I got work to do on behalf of the greater humans, so that way I can stop what you would call galactic trafficking, slavery. or farming. I need to stop that. So I don't want to support any more down here, because down here isn't the problem. It never was the problem. Why do you think I told you the beginning of your realm or reality, the scope? It's up there that is the problem. It really is. So that is something to consider. But I did want to congratulate everyone. You did it. But when you won, you also consciously and unconsciously, you picked where you're going. That is where you're going to go.
We do know Trump is announcing a trade deal. But he also told us he was going to announce something that wasn't related to trade. Here we go. Trump revealed major trade deal between the U.S. and U.K. That's probably going on as we speak this morning. It was supposed to happen around 10 a.m. Donald Trump posting this last night. Big news conference tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The Oval Office concerning a major trade deal with representative of a big and highly respected country, the first of many. Now we're going to come down here a little after that one. And he said this should be a very big, exciting day for the United States of America and the United Kingdom. Press conference, the Oval Office, 10 a.m. So we know we have one going there. Now let's get to some news. We've got to get things wrapped up quickly this morning, so we are ready for Andy. Iraqi bank identifies the most expensive currency that guarantees market leadership. What they're referring to, guys, this is a feel-good piece. They want you to know that they're doing everything to earn your trust, and that is the most important currency that they have, faith and trust in their system in Iraq. And boy, are they awfully happy going into this one. Since yesterday, the articles have become tons. I was looking forward to covering this last night, but we've since had more articles throughout the morning and the day today and the banking day in Iraq. The dinar recovers its health. Dollar decline in Iraq due to local measures. So dinar value climbing, U.S. dollar falling in comparison, use of U.S. dollar falling. This is the de-dollarization that they needed to stabilize the rate so that they could increase their rate, increase their purchasing power. They told us this back when they changed it to 1320. If you guys remember those conversations, the goal was to get it stabilized and then another big jump. Here's another article from this morning. The trilogy of the central bank reign in the parallel market. Historic decline of the dollar for the first time since 2022. This is a victory lap with all of the changes they have made and how it is stabilizing their currency and increasing its value. Thought this one was a great one for Andy. U.S. Basel III deadline approaches as central banks brace for gold reset. Guys, you're getting it over and over and over from every segment of the market, the impending gold reset. Are we starting to pay attention yet? And we're not talking about just from some Dinar recaps guru, Judy, whoever. We're seeing this in your mainstream world. They're talking about bracing for the gold reset. I don't know how many more times we can say it until people start waking up and seeing it. Fortunately, most of you guys are seeing it. I've been told that the Zim comes from a very different source of funds. We've talked about that one a bunch over the years, Bobby. A bunch. Different source of funds than the Zim currency. All right, we've got to go pretty quickly. I should get time to answer some of these questions, maybe a little more deeply after Andy joins us. Kirby, every day is movement to the positive with some bump. Seatbelts recommend. Yeah, do not take off that seatbelt. Banana, I know of some bond facilitators that have been paid, because I know a couple of them personally that have received some dollars. Not all of their dollars, though. And that's a big key there. A little sliding here, keep things going, keep things on the table, but not that massive dollar you're looking for. A currency markets avalanche is heading for the U.S. dollar, and the tremors started this week. What's this story? Andy told us this would happen, that all of these international dollars, U.S. dollars out there would suddenly start rushing back. BRICS, the other currencies, weaponizing the U.S. dollar would come home to roost. We are seeing it. Jakes, it's good to see you, sir. Wouldn't be the same without having Andy stop in, would it now? Really looking forward to get his take on these, because we have a couple of articles in this vein. as we are starting to notice that rush of money coming back to the U.S. Now, it will weaken the dollar, but it should strengthen manufacturing. Trump's got to play this one just right. These are some serious fundamental economics coming to play here. Currency market avalanche, U.S. dollar exodus to unleash 3.2 trillion. Avalanche is selling currency, analyst says. This is them unloading currency that they don't need anymore because of our weaponization under the Biden administration coming home to roost. Trump frantically trying to shore up our values. U.S. dollar exodus rushing home 3.2 trillion. U.S. dollar may face a 3.2 trillion. They're translating it for Singapore. So a 2.5 trillion. Avalanche is selling as Asian countries unwind their stockpile of the world's reserve currency, according to currency analyst Stephen Jen. Not the only one calling for this. We've got it over here at News Market Watch. Same thing. U.S. dollars starting to rush home. They don't need the treasuries. They're buying it. Heck, nobody wants them. Just like we saw in the last couple of days, we have watched the Fed have to purchase billions and billions, tens of billions of dollars of treasuries because nobody else will buy them. That's writing yourself. That's giving yourself money, writing an IOU, and writing it to yourself.
Now let's get rapid. So surprisingly, the selling price of the Iraqi dinar for every $100 did rise a bit. It's 144,000 Iraqi dinars, and then the buying price reached 142,000 dinars for every 100, straight out of the Baghdad local markets. But let's move on. You all know about India striking Pakistan, 2 nuclear powers. Man, this is one to watch. This could really hit home for Iraq because nearly 90% of imports to New Delhi from Iraq, 90%. This could hurt Iraq's exporting of oil and also to Pakistan as well. It's something we got to watch because this could be a complete catastrophe in the Middle East because of the war that's escalating against India and Pakistan. I finally found something for all of you to finally save and get paid. Something stupid, simple, easy, something you're doing already. So if you're interested in saving money and you want to get paid, this is the ticket for you. This is a no-brainer, and I'll talk a little bit more after the update on the Iraqi dinar, but the link is down below. Central bank trilogy restrains the parallel market, historic decline of the dollar for the first time since 2022. Over these past few weeks, the Iraqi dinar has recorded significant improvement in its value against the US dollar in the Iraqi markets, as the hard currency has fallen for the first time, the threshold of $141,000 per $100. The Prime Minister's advisor of financial affairs, Saleh, has 3 main factors that contribute to curbing the parallel market and strengthening the dinar. The Central Bank of Iraq succeeded in meeting the needs of major traders from the dollar by strengthening the reserves of national banks with their correspondents abroad from banks classified with high credit score, AAA, while starting to use alternative currencies such as the UAE dirham, euro, and Chinese yuan in banking operations, especially with Iraq's main commercial partners such as Turkey, UAE, and China. So what Saleh is saying is, with this rise of the dollar, the lowering of the Iraqi dinar, closing the gap to the 1320 official rate, has weakened the parallel market on the citizens' livelihood and overall general economic stability. Prime Minister advisor pointed out that the demand for gold has hit historic peak as a result of the growing fears of the Iraqi street about the possibility of canceling or reducing some categories of paper dollar by the U.S. Federal Reserve in the future. Which prompted citizens to diversify their saving tools away from the U.S. currency, and kaboom, right? People get the dollar out of Iraq. Do you agree with me? Give me thumbs up. Al-Abidi says that the most prominent reason for the decline in the price of the dollar is due to the decline in demand for it in parallel market, in conjunction with significant increases in the supply of hard currency, whether from internal or external sources, indicating that this new balance helped to reduce the gap that has long separated between the official price and the parallel market price. And he goes on to say exactly what I said. there is a decline in smuggling of oil across the borders, smuggling of the dollar, weakening of the parallel market, the black market. These activities have recently been narrowed through strict security and banking measures. If this continues and this trend moves forwards, it will push the dollar closer to the rate of 13.95 dinars during the coming period. And yes, Neil Parler, this is all absurd. These rates, if it's around 1350, 1300, 1100, it's still absurd until it hits 1-to-1. I agree with you 100%. But let's just take what we can and be optimistic, right? We never know what can come from this.
Forwarded from El Donado Trumpo. We will rebuild. Trump won. Donald J. Trump on Truth. May 8th, 2025, 3:08 a.m. The agreement with the United Kingdom is a full and comprehensive one that will cement the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom for many years to come. Because of our long-time history and allegiance together, it is a great honor to have the United Kingdom as our first announcement. Many other deals which are in serious stages of negotiation to follow. Donald J. Trump on Truth. Congratulations to Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who was just named Pope. It is such an honor to realize that he is the first American Pope. What excitement and what a great honor for our country. I look forward to meeting Pope Leo XIV. It will be a very meaningful moment. Forwarded from Wolverine. Guys, I'm expecting to hear some good news. All we can do is pray and maintain the faith. Donald J. Trump on Truth. United Kingdom trade deal. New market access, 5 billion exports. Tariff revenue, 6 billion external revenue. UK tariffs were 5.1% in the red. Now positive 1.8%. US tariffs now 10% positive, were 3.4% in the minus. Unprecedented access to UK market. Ethanol, beef, cereals, fruits, vegetables, animal feed, tobacco, soft drinks, shellfish, textiles, chemicals, machinery, and more. Forwarded from Shelby Mac 2.0, focus on the 6 billion external revenue. This is 6 billion that the United States has never seen before. Trump is literally creating an income stream that has never existed. What do you think is trying to replace? Forwarded from Mike Bara. Update. Obviously, it did not go last night. I am told that 2 attempts were made by the United States to push it through yesterday. I have no word on what the new plan is or why it didn't go through. I will let you know when I hear. I continue to hear good things on the bond side, but that is not us, so we really don't care. All I know about Steve is that he was in a very grave condition last night. I have not received an update this morning. Pray for him. Forwarded from Nancy D. Delaware Patriots United, May 8th, 2025 at 11:13 a.m. It just hit me. Holy shit. This is why Brexit occurred, and occurred first. Why the UK Britain broke away from the EU. It had to in foresight for today's trade deal that was just agreed to between the US and UK. Now the dominoes will fall. Everyone has no choice now. The UK is a large enough domino block to set everything in motion. If the UK was still part of the European Union, then today would not have happened. Just wow. Forwarded from Reinhard Senne. Mike, breaking. Just spoke with my parents in Germany, and they told me, in the newscast at 5 p.m., it was announced that the Iraqi dinar will be as valuable as the dollar. So in EU, they are announcing it publicly, Reinhard. Breaking. The SEC and Ripple have settled. Injunction is set to be dissolved. Ripple to pay 50 million, not 125 million. Remaining escrow funds released. Joint agreement filed with Judge Torres. The case is over. XRP just became fully unlocked. This is the moment we waited years for. And this was by 589 Bolonix. Forwarded from Fallawsophy group chat. When he died, they said the keepers of the trust changed hands. This may be someone they installed. And there was a war inside the Catholic Church as well. Good clergy fighting to reclaim the church from the dark power structure. I don't want comfort, I want freedom. Because comfort can be a cage wrapped in velvet, but freedom is the wild unknown where the soul remembers its wings, where truth burns hotter than security, and the heart walks barefoot into the fire unafraid. Let them keep their illusions. I came here to remember who I am. Yes, I want to know who I am, but I also want to be comfortable.